Hey YouTube, Splatter Trigger here, and today I just wanted to talk about, I was watching a video earlier today, xlovenragex Q&A. He's about to reach his 100 subscribers, or he might already have had, and he sent out, basically the Q&A format, and as I was racking my brain to figure out what question to ask him, basically started thinking, back in the past, and I just wanted to make this video to kind of share with you why I originally got into video gaming and the collecting aspect of it. I hope some of you are interested in this and you can give me feedback on why you did as well, maybe a video response or just text comments and whatnot. But basically, how I got into video gaming was the NES was the first system I've owned. And I remember when I was a kid, back in maybe, I think it was 86, 85, I had an older half-brother that, when my father had custody of him on the weekends, would bring over his Nintendo. Of course, he never let me play, but I just sat there and watched him play for hours and hours on end. And suffice to say, eventually my father bought my younger brother and I, a Nintendo. And we obviously had Super Mario Brothers, and I forget what other first couple of titles we picked up. I think there was Excite Bike. But what really pushed me full stream into gaming was The Legend of Zelda. And it wasn't so much the game format or anything like that. It was more of a personal thing in my family that really kind of pushed me forward. And what happened was, this is back in before Nintendo Power was out, and whatever the precursor magazine Nintendo put out to Nintendo Power, I just know it was a thin mag, was smaller than the Nintendo Power. I forget the title of it. I'm sure some of you out there, especially you older gamers, would know. And if you do, please give me some information, because I have yet to look it up on my own. But it'd be a lot easier for me if you just told me. But this magazine came out, and at the time, they were reviewing Zelda, but they only have very little information on it, just a couple, screenshots of levels and whatnot. And what happened was, my brother and I would get out of grade school, come home, and let's just say my old man would say, hey, you guys could play, 30 minutes a piece of video games before you start your homework, or something along those lines. Let's just use 30 minutes. And so I would play for, say, 30 minutes, and my brother would play for 30 minutes, one watching the other as they played. And eventually my dad kind of was sitting around watching us play, and before you knew it, he got involved in The Legend of Zelda. The only difference was our playtime may have been 30 minutes, my dad's decided to be an hour. So you can honestly say now that we were sitting, my brother and I were watching my father play, and he got into this game so much that, like I said, Nintendo Power wasn't out, and this other little Nintendo magazine was. So what my father would do was he would hand draw the level maps and copy them, and give tips and where the items were and whatnot. And the kids in school, the other guys in grammar school with us, my dad would make copies and make these little booklets up, and that's how into the game he really got. And he would make copies of the other Nintendo magazine, like the screenshots and everything. Basically made these little packets, and we would hand them out in school. It was just basically copied, stapled together with a paper clip. I really don't remember. I wish I could find one of those. I doubt I have any left. But that's what started me off into video games. Really grabbed my interest and kept me going. Now, what got me into the collecting aspect of it also has to do with my old man. See, my old man used to live down in Pennsylvania. I think it was Ridgeway was the name of the town he lived in before he moved to the Northeast with his family and eventually married my mother. And when he was younger, before he moved up here, he was a huge baseball card collector. But of course, when he made the long drive from Pennsylvania up north, he gave away all of his collections to his friends. And back in 1986, he decided one day, I'm going to get back into baseball cards, and started buying baseball cards. And basically, he's been collecting ever since, big time again. And at the time, my younger brother and I were collecting cards with him. Now, for my brother and I, this evolved into, you know, back in 89, 88 or 89, we got heavily into comic books. And we were for up until probably about 2 years ago. We really were heavily collecting comics, and that also curtailed into the video games. As you can see by some of my older collections, like especially the Super Nintendo, I still have a lot of the boxes, instructions, and stuff. And basically, that's what got me into video gaming and collecting, was my father. And I'm just interested in knowing any of you guys' feedbacks. I know, like Rich Apocalypse says Pong was what started him off with his parents, and through a couple of his videos I see that his father still plays. Apparently he's a big Tetris fan. Unfortunately, my old man, besides Boxel for the GameCube, the Game Boy, and Wii Sports for the Wii, never got into the games again. Legend of Zelda was the last level game he actually played to completion, you know, even including the Master Quest. So basically, my dad is what got me into this hobby or this format. And if any of you guys would like to leave me comments and respond in kind and tell me your stories, or a video response, I would love to hear it, and we could spread this around, hopefully. Well, thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I hope to hear from you soon.